So welcome back, everyone. This is going to be really neat. My next guest is Rudy Martinez, and he is the president owner of Shade Net. If I said that correctly, I had the N in there. So Shade Net of Arizona. Welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Thanks, Carol. We're glad to be here. We're a local company here in Phoenix, Arizona. We've been open for 21 years. We manufacture fabric shade structures. A lot of people have probably seen them at playgrounds and car washes and what have you, but there's such a wide variety of applications. That's why we're here today, to try to educate people about what other uses there are.
Well, okay, so let me ask you, first of all, are you both residential and commercial?
Yeah, primarily it's been residential for the last year we've been focusing on, but for the last 20 years it's been mostly commercial and parks and rec and schools.
Sure. Okay, and you said to me before you came on also that you're statewide?
Yeah, we're under contract with some state contracts, and obviously the schools and the parks use that, but we have to service the entire state based on our contract, so we do that for residentials as well.
So you got a little bit of a history.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about what that is.
You know, when I first took the company over in 1995, I couldn't give a structure away. I literally tried to give them away. I approached parks and schools, and they wouldn't take it. They just didn't think this material would last in the sun. And fortunately for us, some of the car dealers and car washes, they bought them. And then I had some reference points. I could say, look, this has been up for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And then finally the PTAs and PTSOs came on board, started demanding them for their playgrounds for their kids, and that's where it took off.
Well, let's talk about the actual product. Because if you're going to want one for your home, you know, you're sitting here, we're talking a little bit about more commercial. We want to talk about why would someone want one for the home. So first, let's talk about the shade and the product, okay?
Yeah, it's a high-density polyethylene. It's manufactured overseas. Some of it's manufactured in South Africa, some of it in Australia. We utilize 2 of those nets. We use the highest quality material that there is available in the market. We also use a particular kind of thread that's very expensive that the sun doesn't eat up. And that's what gives us our ability to put these structures up and have the netting last for a 10-year warranty, but I've had a lot of structures that have been up for 20-plus years now with the original netting.
So talk to us about, okay, so we know obviously commercial, but you said you're also residential, so why would someone want one, and where would they put it?
Well, for the residential applications, some of the more common coverages are like for RV covers. You know, if somebody spends $70,000, $80,000, $160,000 for an RV, they like to be able to cover it so that their paint and the tires, everything is protected. You don't have the UV beating up the RV all the time. A lot of times people put them over their swimming pools, completely covering it or partial coverage. You know, people overseas where this project originated think that we're crazy here in this country because we don't have UV coverage over our swimming pools and protecting our kids. Overseas, it's much more common, but here it's starting to catch on a little bit.
Wow, it's really interesting. Now, you are statewide, you said,
yes,
rated with the Better Business Bureau. You're a licensed contractor, basically.
Correct.
You do also do free over-the-phone or in-person estimates.
Correct.
Their phone number, it's toll-free 800-290-3387, and local here at 602-484-7911. Again, both residential and commercial. You should check them out on their website. It's shadesolutions with an S.com. And I would think that you also have to do sort of a little bit, especially if they want one of these for over their pool. You have to kind of do a consultation with them and tell them what this is all about, correct?
Yeah, we do design consultations. We've got literally, dozens and dozens of designs. So based on photographs or our website, they go on there and they take a look. Then we go to their site or their house or their parking lot or whatever it is, and we can give them several different options and different costing options. But yeah, we can certainly, we've got trained professionals. We go out, visit the site, pull the tapes, take pictures, consult with our engineers, and we give them all the different options that we can.
Now, again, that number is toll-free, 800-290-3387, or local here, it's 602-484-7911. It's shadesolutions.com. So, okay, first of all, before I ask you about your competitors and this and that, the other thing, I wanted to ask you about this. So I've seen you in the shade and park areas and all that, school playgrounds and this and that, right. But I also understand that you do huge ones for basketball courts to cover military aircraft. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, we've a lot of people that drive up and down McDowell, they see the Papago Air National Guard facility. We've had coverage over those helicopter working areas for several years. We have a lot of structures at military installations around the country. We have a contract with the federal government, and the people here in Arizona enjoy the convenience of having us close by as well. So if you don't have an Apache attack helicopter, we can certainly cover your RV or your car or
It
your
sounds
playground.
like a smart thing to do, really. Yeah. Now, you also can do, you said, farm equipment, animals. What's all that about?
A lot of people, there's a lot of horse owners here in town, and they've got areas that are open, and they like to have their agriculture or their livestock covered.
You want to protect them, too.
Exactly, yeah. I absolutely hate when I drive around the Cave Creek area in North Scottsdale, and you see the horses out there with one little tiny Palo Verde tree, and it's unfortunate, but our shade structures will certainly fix that problem.
They do free over-the-phone or in-person estimates. Their phone number is toll-free 800-290-3387 or local here, 602-484-7911. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau, 21 years in business. So what makes you different than some of the competitors?
There's some other companies around the country that manufacture this, and even some local smaller ones. We've been doing it for 21 years. We're a licensed contractor. We've got certification with the City of Phoenix as an approved steel fabricator, which I don't think anybody else does. What that means is that all of our welders are certified. It means that we have traceability on our materials. It's just a quality control system that we have in place that ensures the customers that we're going to be there year after year, and that what we say we're going to do, we do. And that if the structures, they're engineer designed, we have to follow that to the T, because when you've got a structure over product or kids, you can't take chances like that. When you got the monsoon storms, if you have put a structure up that's supposed to hold up.
You want it to fly away.
Exactly. If you got 120 mile per hour wind load rating, you want to make sure it adheres to that. And we don't take chances with kids underneath these things.
Now, I love this too, that for residential purposes, that people may not be thinking about this. Obviously, you can do backyard patios, pools, which is awesome, but also barbecues. That's a great idea.
Yeah, we've got some smaller systems as well. We've got like full cantilevered umbrellas and standard umbrellas. And when I say umbrellas, it's not the traditional sense of an umbrella that you can take it up and put it down. Ours are rigid, they're huge, they got large components, and they've got a 90 mile per hour wind load rating. So it's not the umbrella in the traditional sense, but we do have some smaller applications as well for smaller areas.
Tell them again what the product is made of. Go ahead.
It's a high density polyethylene. It's a porous mesh, and it's got a fair amount of elasticity to it. And there's about 14 different colors. The darker the color, the better your blockage. Blocks up to 98% of the UV rays, about 92% of the shade factor. And your lighter colors don't block as much, but there's about 5 percentage points difference.
So they really must last a long time.
They do.
They do.
Yes.
And can I just ask you what colors you have? Because I want to know what you can do.
I've got the black, the green, the yellow, the red, the blue, beige, latte.
So you don't just have to do beige?
No.
Awesome. You can add some color to your backyard.
We have the terracotta too, though, for the HOAs that don't like you getting too creative.
Right. And of course for residential, you do that for residential, but also for commercial as well. Real quickly, if you wanted to go, I think probably one of the most important thing that everybody wants to know when they're talking about something like this is how affordable are they?
A lot of it depends on the size of the structure, the complexity of the project. We have a lot of businesses that put up our structures for covered parking. We have different types of parking structures. So based on the different types, that's going to affect the pricing. Also, people can just buy the kits from us if they want to install it themselves. The footings are quite large, but we supply it with the structures, the installation instructions, and if somebody's handy or they've got a contractor in their family, they can certainly dig the holes and pour the concrete as well.
Really? So you can, do they actually call you afterwards, say, you got to come in here, I need your help?
That never happens.
Does it?
No, once in a while.
I bet. They've been in business for 21 years. They do free over-the-phone or in-person estimates. They're statewide, both residential and commercial, rated with the Better Business Bureau. The website is shadesolutions.com. The phone number is toll-free 800-290-3387, or right here you can call them at 602-484-7911. So, do you do these out of the country as well, or obviously out of state?
With our military contracts, we do. We've shipped them to Japan, Italy, Cuba. But yeah, the main market's here in the States. And we do the entire structure. We do the steel framework, the plates, everything, not just the top, the polyethylene cover. So everything, whether it's a shade sail, which are getting really popular, or whether it's a structure We do everything here in our factory in Phoenix.
Now, what's the direction for your company going in?
You know, we get a lot of calls from residentials, so we're having to go in that direction a bit because we have to answer the call. I mean, if people want the structures over their pools or partial pool, you know, once you get over the hurdle of an HOA and some of the permitting issues, once you get past those, people have protection for their kids, their property, their house for 20, 30 years to come.
Well, I'll tell you something. The only way you're going to find out, and it sounds like a wonderful thing to do, is have a conversation with them. Call them and see what they can do for you to protect yourselves, your animals, your cars, your barbecue. Be able to be outside. Protect yourselves. And if you have a business, it's a perfect way to protect that too. Again, their phone number is toll-free 800-290-3387 right here at 602-484-7911. It's ShadeSolutions.com.